It's fierce. It's raw. It's wild. It's beautiful. It's challenging. It's what every coastline before this has been training us for. It's the Southern Ocean.
Alright guys, here we go. Welcome to season 5.
This is so wild. It's pretty incredible that we share a planet with wildlife like this. That scared the bejesus out of me.
We've been so spoilt with probably some of the clearest waters in the world, just coming straight up from Antarctica to meet these white beaches here. Hey guys! It's good to be sailing again!
This will be the biggest crossing we'll have to do in our Australian circumnavigation.
Reef in, reef out, reef in, reef out.
To say we're ready for it, I'm not too sure.
That was about 35 knots just then.
Yeah, we're as ready as we'll ever be. It's season 5. Let's get keen.
Alright guys, here we go. Welcome to season 5. We're kicking it off with our first overnight sail since the Abrolhos Islands.
For the last few months, we have been traversing down Australia's west coast, leading us to the far southwest corner where we're currently anchored. Over the next few months, we're excited to bring you along with us as we set sail into the remote waters that lie south of Australia. We'll be traversing another 1,500 nautical miles along a wild coastline marked by powerful ocean, dramatic scenery. This mountainous mountain headland is just incredible. Untouched beaches and abundant marine life. But for now, back in the southwest. We've been hanging out here in Hamelin Bay, waiting for the right moment to make our next move. And today is the day.
It's bright and early in the morning. We set our alarms for about 4:15. Sun's meant to be up and we should have enough visibility to go at about 4:45.
To kick off this new season, we're making the 180 nautical mile journey to Albany, a small but is one of the larger towns situated on the south coast. Albany, here we are! Before even rounding Cape Lewin, which is known as one of the world's great treacherous capes, we find ourselves responding to an EPIRB activation.
It's crazy to see how these things work.
Which didn't exactly settle our nerves, but it certainly got our journey into the Southern Ocean underway.
Everything on deck is secure and I think we're almost ready to go.
It kind of actually seems to be a bit of a ritual that every season sort of begins with a decent overnight sail. We've got a little bit of a good weather window. It's blowing easterlies basically every single day, and obviously we're trying to go east, so it's not ideal. However, for the next 2 days, it's turning somewhat southerly and easing off ever so slightly. We'll take it as it comes as always, and hopefully be in Albany in about 36 hours. Picking up anchor, hoisting the mainsail and pointing Nakama's bow south this morning has turned the page to a new chapter of our story. While we complete our degrees entirely online, we decided to set off on Nakama, our small sailboat, and complete a lap of our home country.
Oh, what weather gear's been getting sucked a good clean this week. You know, saving on those laundry bills.
We figured that as broke uni students, we'd be able to live a little cheaper by removing ongoing rent, electricity and water bills from our lives. Is that the water puddle?
Just because you're doing it bush doesn't mean you can't do it right.
All the while thoroughly exploring every unique stretch of coastline we have here down under. And I mean thoroughly because juggling uni and making videos like this one here makes us incredibly slow sailors. So if you're new to the channel and this is the first time you're watching, make sure you subscribe, follow along, We're doing a lap of Australia. And we've now covered 4,500 of the 7,500 odd nautical miles that make up our Australian circumnavigation. So this morning, we're looking at the next huge chapter of our story. And not gonna lie, feeling a little nervous about it. But like we've always done, the best way to cure nerves is to just get into it. After a bit of caffeine, of course.
First things first, coffee. Nah, I'm ready for it. I think a couple days of anticipation, but it's kind of, so far it's nice to be out here this morning. We've dealt with some wild stuff on this lap already, so I'm sure we can deal with a little bit of wild. It looks like the best window we've seen in a very, very long time, so just into it, hey? Get into it.
We're firstly making the journey about 20 miles south to get beyond the reef outlying Cape Lewin before we turn southeast. But only 1 hour into our journey, and after only just slapping on some sunscreen. It's only 5:45, but the sun is like well and truly up. 2 fingers above the horizon. That's an accurate measurement. And it's sunscreen time.
Your horse beak is pretty good. Like, this is what we call horse beak. You know how horses
have the
white stripe on their nose? Yeah, you're good.
We heard a pan call out over the radio, alerting us that someone's in distress.
So we've heard a pan on the radio, which means basically a vessel in need of immediate assistance and in distress.
Not only did a pan call go out on the VHF, but as an EPIRB has been set off in the area, we've had the Australian Maritime Safety Authority call on the phone as they can see we're the closest vessel on AIS in the area.
It's crazy to see how these things work, and it's great that we got a phone call. We've had them contact Sophie's mum too, so we've had Sophie's mum calling and everything.
Apparently, the EPIRB has been set off back within this area of Hamlin Bay. It's shallow and rocky, which we can only access by our tender.
They're in a shallow, reefy area. It's a kayaker that's lost steering, lost power. So we're not able to assist on Nakama because it's too shallow and it's just breaking there. We could assist on the tender, but it's stowed and packed away.
We know that leaving this morning, there are other vessels within the anchorage, as well as a boat ramp in which fishing boats are launching. However, it seems we're the only boat responding, but we're not in the best position to respond.
They've said to just stand by at this stage because we are just a little bit far out, and then by the time we get in, re-anchor and unstow and get our tender down, it might take a while.
Unsure whether other boats have heard on the radio, we spotted a fishing vessel to let them know of the situation.
We've spotted a fishing boat on the horizon here that might not have the same VHF reach as what we do, but we're going to see if we can yell out to them and let them know. As they can scoot back there in 2 seconds, it'll take us an hour to get there and probably a good half an hour to unstow and drop the tender and everything after we've anchored. So yeah, we'll see if they can go back and assist.
How's it going, guys? Hey, there's been an EPIRB activation in Hamlin Bay.
Apparently by this point, the kayaker has made it to the beach of Hamlin Island. So is safe, but is awaiting collection.
It'll take us over an hour to get there, you know? It's 5 miles. Coast Radio Perth, Coast Radio Perth. This is Nakama. The fishing vessel we were in contact with has departed towards the location we were provided. No dramas. Nakama standing by 1-6. Let us know if there's anything else we can do to assist. Alright, so we've been in touch with Canberra again, and the kayaker has safely floated onto a beach on one of the islands there, on Hamlin Island, and all is well. Hopefully that fishing tinny that we bumped into, we're picking him up off the beach shortly. I'm sure there'll be one relieved kayaker. We're pretty relieved too. But yeah, interesting little morning.
We felt relieved to hear that the kayaker was safe and all was under control. But it got us thinking about how important a working radio and AIS is. That whole situation this morning is a bit of a reminder to the importance of AIS, having your radio on, or having a radio. That tinny that we came across didn't even have a radio on them, which is, for us, seems absolutely crazy that they're out here without a radio. And yeah, leaving both of those things on while you're in the anchorage as well, because there are other boats in the anchorage, and the fact that no one was responding, it's just crazy. Some important lessons learnt, and enough excitement for one day. But our day has only just gotten started, and we need to get this boat back on the road. look who has horse beak now.
Have I got horse beak?
Yeah,
Oh, that was pretty majorly horsing.
that was a major one.
No horsing around. So just making some breakfast. I think it's going to be our passage special. We generally start off with some like real carby, greasy. So Vegemite and cheese on toast always goes down a treat.
It's turning out to be a glorious day as we slowly round Cape Lewin and point Nakama's bow towards a new stretch of coast and water. The wind slowly swung through to the south, the wind we were hoping for, and by late morning we could finally switch off the engine and enjoy the sound of Nakama pushing through the ocean. The wind's crept in ever so slightly more, about 13 knots now, and we're sailing along really nicely at 5 knots. Shearwaters glide gracefully around Nakama, checking out the newcomer in their waters. We couldn't have asked for a better day to begin this new leg. The most pleasant sail we've had in a while. We set Nakama up and haven't had to touch a thing apart from getting a small bit of headsail in when the wind filled in. But pleasantly cruising along, us and Nakama have been soaking up the joy of an uneventful sail. Hey guys, we just wanted to drop by and let you all know that we have just dropped a new merch line, which is now available for you all to get amongst. It's been a long time of trialing all different companies, making sure that we're 100% happy with it before making it available to all you lot. But we've finally found a local Australian company that is taking extra special care with the printing, as well as also allowing us to work really closely with them.
Alright, so we've been taken through the process. It starts with like a spray. I'm relatively certain it helps the inks adhere and get into the fabric. And then it's pressed. I guess that sets that spray in. And then they print it and then they treat it. One of the huge differences about this as to the ones we'd ordered basically online is that didn't happen. So it looked good for like when we unwrapped it and then all the inks just fell out. So that's part of the reason we were so stoked when we saw this process, because it actually like treats the fabric and makes the ink stay in. And with like fine lines like this, it's really important. First one done.
Very first one done.
We supervised the heck out of it.
We're also using an Australian apparel company that we've worn lots over the years, and we know that they are of quality and also durable. As for the design, well, I thought I'd put my degree straight into use, and it is designed by yours truly. What you see here is the original plan for Nakama, which I have digitalized and redesigned to make this design. It's been really exciting to see our merch put to use with our patrons exceptionally modeling our men's tees, polos, women's tees, hoodies and cap. And now, so can you. So you can now check out our website slimandsoapsailingnakama.com to see what we have available, and to reduce any wastage in holding stock, we're going to be doing probably about a 2-week pre-ordering period before then sending your orders to print and shipping them out, hopefully all before Christmas, which is just around the corner. It goes without saying that every purchase contributes towards this little wee production, helping us replace salt damaged camera gear as well as maintaining the vessel in which we rely upon to create the production. So cheers guys, we really hope you like the designs and what we have up on our website, and let's get back into it. So it's about 5 o'clock, we're cruising along really beautifully, 6 knots, wind is not too far in our nose, we're actually making our course, which is also really good. But it's getting really chilly. The wind down here, that's what's cold. The wind is like, especially with these southerlies, blowing that Antarctic air up, and yeah, it's quite chilly. So we're super glad that we made sure that we got a whole new set of wet weather gear for this leg. So it's time for me to get that out and suit up, I reckon. Probably start some watches soon. Well, the wind sort of died off. We're doing 4.5 knots now. It's crazy. We're literally sitting on 6s, flying along. The wind died off, crept a little bit more forward, and we're sitting on 4.5 knots.
Still pleasant conditions out here at least. We've got just enough winds that we're still getting over the chop and everything, so it's nice.
Simon was an absolute darling yesterday and prepared all this food for today. And one of those things was a bit of like a creamy mushroom veggie sausage pasta, which he's been looking forward to all day. I've just given him the green light to whack it in the pan and put it on. So that's what he's doing. I'm very happy. I'm super grateful that he cooked food yesterday, baby.
How much easier does it make it?
Makes it so much easier.
I made this not knowing what we were in for, at least for this time of the day. Conditions have been like, you could cook right now.
Yeah.
We never used to meal prep, and we learnt going down the west coast how good it can be sometimes to just have something in the fridge or the freezer or whatever you can heat up, because sometimes, yeah, it's better to have it ready than to not when you're in this kind of ocean, I think.
We're now closing in on Point D'Entrecasteaux. We're about 60 miles into our trip with about 120 miles to go. Thank you. Yum.
Pretty basic.
So excited. There's nothing better to add to calm conditions than a hot and yummy meal. The wind continued to ease into the early evening, which meant so did we. So we're gonna start watches now. Simon's gonna go down first. I've absolutely rubbed myself up. I've got a beanie on. Gosh. I've also got some boots on with some nice fluffy socks underneath so I don't get wet feet. It's luxury here aboard Nakama. Anyway, we'll let the night begin, eh? I don't think there's going to be too much of a sunset tonight. It's pretty cloudy and overcast, which is kind of unfortunate because that's one of the nice things about overnight sailing, is catching a beautiful sunset on the water. But that won't be happening tonight.
We are just cruising into sunrise on day 2. Just over 60 miles to go now. I'm gonna wake Soph up in like half hour. It's about 4:30 now, so I'll wake her up at 5. We did like a 2-hour watch to begin with, and then a 3-hour watch. Anyway, cruising along. Looks like a beautiful morning. It's not much wind, it's really eased, so motoring along, but no complaints.
Very grey and gloomy this morning. It was a gloomy but stunning morning. There's always a sense of peace waking up in light conditions. The shearwaters only seem to be becoming more and more abundant, their presence really adding to the mystical ambience we've found ourselves in this morning. And when another gloomy cloud comes along, the wind it's carrying picks Nakama up and has us now zooming along towards our destination. We have wind again. Literally 15 knots just came in instantly. Sailing now, it's nice. And a short time later, I dragged Slim up on deck, and braving the elements in his undies, he helped me get some sail in and Nakama under control. dolphins! Oh.
Hey, what's going on? Cruising. We're hooking. I think we got up, so I've probably told you, put a reef in and stuff. Now we're still hooking along at like 6.5 knots. It's pretty cool.
Dude, I had these crazy dolphins like leaping out of the water.
So
they like approach you in a different way down here, eh?
Keener.
They're so keen.
Bit more mustard on their sandwiches in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's been hardcore waiting for a window to do this, but it's so nice to be out here now.
The cloud began clearing by late morning, leaving us with beautiful blue ocean hues and sunshine.
We're just coming up on Cape Howe. It's just out behind us here. It's quite stunning. The clouds have sort of burnt off in the morning sun now, and you can get a look at some of these cliffs. They're pretty insane. We're just under 30 miles to go now. Yeah, so far so good. It's turned into a nice little morning.
It is really stunning down here. It really does feel like we've come into a new ocean. It's just beautiful. The seabirds are so beautiful. We've got a whole flock of them like trailing behind us. It's super gorgeous. Yeah, I think we've been pretty lucky with this weather window that we took. Super lucky. As we approach the coastline of Albany, we begin to realise why it's regarded as one of the most incredibly beautiful and diverse coastlines in the world. This coastline is seriously impressive. I'm very happy that we're turning a new chapter in our Australian lap. It's so much more breathtaking than we could have ever imagined. Describing it as both stunningly gorgeous and fearsomely rugged couldn't be more spot on. This headland we're just coming past right now is seriously insane.
It's huge. It's absolutely massive rock. It's cool watching the waves go boom against it.
So beautiful. I don't think I've been this like awestruck since the Kimberley. This place, I think it's something to do with just like the scale and size of things, you know? One thing that always blows us away in the slap of Australia is how much it changes from coast to coast. From rugged and vibrant red cliffs in the north to enormous granite boulders in the south. It never gets old with something new awaiting us around the next corner, such as our first taste for a Southern Ocean washing machine which awaits us off this next headland. So we're just rounding Bald Head now and coming towards Albany.
This has to be some of the most washy seas I can recall in a long time.
So we just turned the engine on to get through it. Headlands down here can get messy with the swell rebounding off them. Luckily, we have a fairly benign day, but we can imagine how yuck it would get in anything more developed.
Normally you get a little wish-wash here and there, but it's kind of like wish-wash with the big boys.
At least it's a nice day for it.
Yeah.
We've now turned slightly northwest as we head for the protected waters of King George Sound. And the views along this peninsula don't get any less phenomenal. We also receive a warm welcome from a few enthusiastic locals. Oh my god, there is a tiny little baby dolphin in the bow. There's like mom and... Yeah, look at that little baby dolphin!
It's like we've stumbled on a little dolphin nursery in here. There's all these like mums and calves just like playing on the bow at the moment, so let's hope something there hanging out with them. Dolphins, man, they're definitely like a totem.
We know we're getting close when Chili emerges from her little sailing nook to come out and sniff her new surroundings.
Gonna reward your boat cat, just like you would any good dog.
Chili loves seaweed, like the seaweed sheets for sushi. So Simon's treating her to a sheet of seaweed. As we approach the entrance to Albany, it's hard not to feel chuffed about getting here. I think for us, there was a lot of anticipation about turning this corner. I feel really anxious for what's awaiting us around this corner.
I'm at the point where I'm feeling like, let's just go, let's rip the band-aid off.
So, having now ripped off the band-aid and finally been here, it feels like a huge weight's been lifted off our shoulders. We're here! Albany, here we are. We did pretty well. We left at 4:45 from Hamlin Bay and we've arrived at 20 to 4 in the afternoon the following day. So arrived earlier than we anticipated, which is really good. Done?
Yep. Stoked, eh?
Can I turn off the engine now?
Yep.
Good job, Chill. Well guys, it's time to hit the hay after a long sail. But thanks so much to you guys for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed the first video of our new series, a journey into the Southern Ocean. The season is only going to get more epic, and don't forget to check out the new pieces on our website. There's a link in the description below. We really hope there's something there you like. And as always, thank you to our awesome crew over on Patreon. And that's about it. Cheers guys, we're looking forward to catching you next time. Bye!